Opening up is 15-year-old Kimberly Bong of Malaysia. She's been in 2 Commonwealth finals so far these games.
One this morning and qualified in final spot, as Kat was just explaining. A little bit of luck on her side, and this is her best dive. She opens with it. Upright entry, hardly any splash. Kimberly Bong has smoked it again.
12 divers in this final, 5 dives each, and every dive counts.
Inward 1.5 in the pike position, just 2.4 degree of difficulty, like for like, with start number 1, Kimberly Bong. Almost identical scores.
The inward 1.5 somersaults in this opening round. A very mixed bag, I think it's fair to say. Back 1.5 somersaults in pike.
We saw lots of entries going over and short in the prelims, particularly on this dive. Losing her feet a little bit. She goes into the water, which is a shame because she'd have been on.
As it is, 6.5s and 7s. Magical 50 marker. Shea Boddington of New Zealand, and fell in love with it all over again.
And she was doing some great dives this morning. So Shea, at the age of 31, with that massive break from the sport, certainly New Zealand's best hope. And I'm looking across all the events, solid diving, even one of the judges thinking that was worth an 8.
Jasmine Lai of Malaysia with
just getting after the takeoff, maybe with a little bit too much eagerness, snapping into the dive and then tucking the chin in and over-rotating, having to do a little bit of a fix on the bottom. Oh, some of them saw it, 6.5 takeaway.
7s aren't so bad. Here is Noor Dabita Sabri, a 3-time Commonwealth Game medalist, 2 of those, the same dive for her, inward 1.5 somersaults.
Yeah, she's made of tough stuff, training and mostly competing in every event that is available here.
Yeah, but slightly better. 7s, 7.5 in there. Grace Reid of Scotland then. She opens with a back 1.5 somersaults, 2.3 degree of difficulty.
Very nice from Grace. I knew she had a gear to crank it up into, and that is showing all of the signs that she's awake, ready to go. Upgrading from her opening dive this morning. The judges say 7.5s to count.
And an 8. Grace Reid, just where we expect it to be. Kat Torrance then, already won a silver in the 3-meter synchro.
Well, Kat is incredibly strong, powerful, agile, and she certainly gives it some beans on this takeoff. Probably a little bit too much. You can see her there drifting over. So marginally lower score than Grace, but still.
Alicia Blagg, Kat's synchro partner.
Nice from Alicia. This superb all the way, just ducking the chin, rolling over marginally. Just keep her hold on some 8s. Let's have a look. Yeah,
Find some extra points in the bag there for Alicia. She's doing the same dive as Alicia.
I see her even. So having a good prelim, pressure's on. She's just a little bit behind the pace of the front runners, only slightly.
Georgia Sheehan, first of 2 Australians to round off this first round with the same dive, inward 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.4 degree of difficulty, a 2nd gold medal of these games.
Yeah, I really like her diving. She's tall, she's quite leggy, so she looks very aesthetically pleasing, certainly in the pike position, which means the judges will view favourably as well.
Yeah, 7.5s and a 7, 52.80. Esther Chin gold in the 3-metre synchro with Georgia 4 years ago in Glasgow on the 1 metre. Inward 1.5 somersaults.
Great takeoff as per usual. And then she thinks, oh, I'm spinning a little bit quick. I need to reach forward here. Of a shimmy to try and get the dive in, and
not the opening dive that Esther would have wanted, but look at that. Alicia Blagg of England with Esther Chin right at the bottom of the heap, not where you would expect.
And all support each other as well. A good dive is a good dive, doesn't matter where you're from.
Kimberly Bong then of Malaysia, the 15-year-old, up in the mix, 3rd place.
Wow, she may be hustling us with her prelim performance. Coming straight out with another corker.
And that's 2.6 degree of difficulty dive as well, so big points on the board.
Yeah, more points. And it's probably as high as it's going to get. Another 53.
Very mature first couple of dives from the teenager. Michaela Buta of South Africa.
She did well there, a little bit back from the end of the diving board, let alone if you're going to be barefoot on a springboard. Imagine that would take a while to get back. She's in this final. Screen now.
And here's her countrywoman, Nicole Gillis, with a reverse 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.4 degree of difficulty. Currently in 11th.
On the end of the diving board, all good, and should have let go there. And instead, she tips over, loses her feet. 6s.
Shea Boddington then for New Zealand. A full 5 years older than all the other competitors in this field. She says it's a dream come true to be at these Commonwealth Games.
Poise, confidence. Very easy to just make a slight error. And that's exactly what we see there as she lets go a little bit early. You can see Steve Gladin, it was all there, and then just over-rotated.
Jasmine Lai, 2.6 degree of difficulty this one. Forward 2.5 somersaults in pike.
Wow, just showing you how complicated these dives are. If any of you at home have ever been off a diving board, just trying to get in head first can be treacherous. Lots of splash being thrown at the judges, taken at a school.
Nur Dabita Sabri of Malaysia with the same dive. So we can compare like for like.
And landing way over a vertical. So Sabri joins Yasmin Lai, slipping right off the pace.
With a good performance this evening, but that 39. Scotland's Grace Reid. Currently in silver medal position.
Yeah, that's going to help as well. It's in the pike position. She cannot put a foot wrong. She's lower on DD than some of her competitors, so every dive she needs to do needs to score 8s and above. Now that will sneak 8s from the judges. She's so high, so strong, so powerful, and I hope she continues to dive like this, because she will be putting pressure firmly on all of her fellow competitors.
Including Kat Torrance. The same dive as Grace.
Oh, cautious there. She cranks it up, such is her style, so it's a really good spin.
Great height, look at that.
Huge height. She comes out early, but maybe just a touch too early. Now, one thing I will say, she's a little tight to the diving board. I wouldn't want to see her any closer than that, and we don't want to see that.
She was in prelims as well, wasn't she? Quite tight to the
a little bit, yeah.
diving board a couple of times. So just 6s for Kat, for Team England, with a back 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.3 degree of difficulty.
Oh, commentator's curse right there. Two somewhat lacking. Ouch. Takeoff is good. Not quite sure where the water is. Gives it a good chest open and pull. And over she blows.
Could that be a medal blown then?
Yes.
For Alicia Blagg? Yep, 4s, 4.5s, 28.
This is all 2.2, 2.4, 2.6, so there's nothing.
There's no big gun to fall back on. Julia Vincent of South Africa.
Wow, she's coming out all guns blazing. Have had a positive effect, thinking, right, the door is ajar. I can now make a little bit of a play. This is my highest degree of difficulty at 2.6. Seed, if you will, that high up on the rankings. Maybe a 1 meter specialist.
Georgia Sheehan then of Australia. The two Australians, crowd favourites, of course, to wrap up this second round of dives. Listen to their cheers. See her on the TV, on adverts and billboards.
Well, she's okay. Crashing over. Back from the end. Ducks her chin in a bit too much, and then Pike saves it. I don't think she's going to get 7s.
No 7s in there, just 6.5s. Chamois into the jacuzzi there. Heat of the competition perhaps getting to her, as it is for Esther Chin. At least it was in the first round. For Esther, who you'd expect to be up there contending the gold medal. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 2.6 degree of difficulty again.
Which is the wheel that you use to adjust the distance. Look at that. She's a country mile back from the end, stamps the board, struggles to make that round, our top seed.
Perhaps the Aussies feeling the pressure from this almost capacity crowd here this evening. Look at that. But look at that. Grace Reid of Scotland with a 3-point cushion at the top. Tight, though, for bronze and silver. Just 1/10 of a point in it between, as has Alicia Blagg. Her medal chances blown with that second round dive, I'm afraid.
Being in a final, just having fun, letting the dives do the talking.
She'd be a surprise medalist, wouldn't she? Back 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists in free, 2.5 degree of difficulty.
Wow, that's a better effort from Bong once again. No wonder she's smiling. Well, the judges kind of, yeah, well, it was really low on the water.
Michaela Buter in 5th. Back 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.3 degree of difficulty.
The takeoff, throws her shoulders back, bends her knees unnecessarily in the pike shape, and then stops it dead by coming out early and ends up short. So lots of counter things going on. Somehow got away with 6s.
Another South African, Julia Vincent, found herself. Nicole Gillis, 3 of them in this final.
Oh, once again, similar to Kimberly Bong, running out of room. And she was on the corner of the board, so see ya.
Shambles on the scoreboard.
Thanks for coming.
Shea Boddington then. Forward 2.5 somersaults in pike, 2.6 degree of difficulty.
Yeah, straight up and down. Dreams can come true. I think it's been said before. Wonderful, inspiring lady for her backstory. And solid, some of the athletes surrounding her, but she is certainly holding her own.
Jasmine Lai.
Way down in 11th will be the women who make the least amount of mistakes, give themselves the best chance of being on the podium.
6.5s and a 7. And while Nur Dabita Sabri is 4 years younger than Jasmine, much more success, including 3 Commonwealth medals career. Same dive for her, back 1.5 somersaults, 0.3 degree difficulty.
Judges could still see that part of her body. Takeoff is good.
There is a 7 in there, though, for Nur Dabita Sabri. Grace Reed of Scotland, but out on her own on the 1 metre and out in front. Inward 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.4 degree of difficulty.
Well, she's done a great job. So backing off ever so slightly on the takeoff, which causes that marginal over-rotation, but she does a fabulous job of just disguising it. 7.5, maybe? Yeah. 7 and 7.5.
And so too could Kat Torrance. Reverse 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, 2.6 degree of difficulty for Kat, and she needs this.
Yeah, that's good from Kat. Middle on a hurdle step, so has to shoot the dive maybe to the side of the board a little bit. She's a safe distance and does drift a little bit through upright and then marginally over. The all-knowing grimace as the coaches get caught on the camera, showing us what they really think. Showing us what they really think before they go back to that poker face.
Poker face for Alicia Black. It hasn't been the final she would have wanted. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 2.6 degree of difficulty.
Yeah, well, she's come back into it now. So she'd have been annoyed, frustrated, angry maybe even after a second round mistake. She's got a lot of work to do, and this is a great third round dive. We saw Lois Tolson blow her second round dive last night and still come back for a sneaky bronze. So let's not write Alicia off yet, but she has made it really difficult for herself, but that will help.
Yeah, 8 and 62.40, that has helped. Well done, Alicia, just when you needed it. Julia Vincent. It's been a surprise success over the last couple of rounds and finds herself in a silver medal position. Back 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.3 degree of difficulty for the wild card.
And wild she stays. Obviously immune to any commentator's curse which could have been coming her way. And that is the best I've seen from this young lady. Beautiful entry. This is the upright vertical entry all women are aspiring to in this contest. Zipping in there, hardly any splash. We haven't seen much of it. And we see it here now from Julia Vincent of South Africa.
And that is a great dive, enough to take the lead from Scotland's Grace Reed.
Ooh. Could we see a South African medal?
No one would have seen it coming if they do.
No one would have seen it coming, and at the moment, it's on.
In fact, Georgia Sheehan and Esther Chin were supposed to deliver the medals for Australia, having seen their form in the prelims. But here's Georgia in 4th.
Yeah, it's neat and tidy, but it is an over-rotation. It's the highest degree of difficulty at 2.6. She's got a couple of easier dives by way of degree of difficulty to finish. That's quite far over. Shouldn't really get more than a 6.5. The crowd are pretty excitable, so maybe the judges' hands will slip up half a mark here or there, which they have.
Half a mark or a mark. And that is very handy for Georgia Sheehan, up into the bronze medal position. Esther Chin needs a good one too if she's to push towards the medals. Back 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.3 degree of difficulty for Esther. 26 years old.
And that's more like it from Esther. I think it's going to make a play because of the low degree of difficulty. She has got some higher degree of difficulty coming, but not much. So it's whether the damage has been done, whether she can squeeze up a little bit more. It's very, very tight. That's all I'm going to say. Here's Esther's marks. And then
7.5s for Esther.
After round 3, of course, 2 rounds to go.
And it's Julia Vincent of South Africa who snatched the lead by just 0.6 of a point from Scotland's Grace Reid. Georgia Sheehan of Australia moving up into the medals as we expected. Kat Torrance, though, some good work from her in that third round. 148, so what's that? Another 11 marks. So a bit of a gap from the medals down to those contesting lower down. And Alicia Blagg has moved herself up to 6th as well. Leon clapping along up here. I wonder why we've got the Addams Family theme tune playing. What's that supposed to represent? They're a very game crowd here, though, aren't they? They do everything else of them. They surf, they play the bongos, they do kiss cam, they do dancing. They're all here for a party. There's a nice little area with picnic tables and tents outside where you can sit and have a beer and some chips. Right by the estuary. Lovely. Kimberly Bong of Malaysia, back 1.5 somersaults in pike. Was up in the medal, slipped down to 7th after that third round dive.
Well, Kimberly Bong letting it all slip away now, almost back to where she was in the prelims, flip-flopping her way through. What a shame, because she started this final on fire and was up in medal contention in these early rounds, and now come round 4, that's a flop.
Just 15 years old, though, that would have been a surprise if she'd found herself on the podium after qualifying in last position. It would be good to see a good final dive from her. And here we are, another close-up of these pads.
Yeah.
And she's back on the walkie-talkie.
Bye, 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 sell, sell, sell.
This walkie-talkie has done a lot of work at this diving pool over the last few days. They've got all kinds of glitches in the system. Maybe one of those giant bugs you can see flying around has got in to the circuit board.
Can you hear me, Roger?
Copy that.
Copy that.
Looks like Kimberly already knows kind of what to expect from the marks anyway. She knows what went right, what went wrong.
Judges all in baby blue.
Which is pretty much the theme of this diving pool, isn't it? Baby blue water, baby blue poolside,
Here
baby
come
blue judges.
Bong scores.
4.5s across the board. Yeah, oh, and the smile that was there has faded.
She's still pretty...
There
Yay.
it is. Maybe she can hear us. She can't. Michaela Buta, 22 years old, from South Africa, in 8th. And countrywoman Julia Vincent leading the way here.
Oh, Michaela starting to lose it now, with faltered in the third round and then aggressively taking off and then just timing her exit the dive poorly, letting go way too early and then lands very short into the water. Yeah, sucks for her.
3.5s across the board, yeah. Chewing down on that chamois.
I know, I'm hungry.
I can go get you a chamois if you want.
Sure, thanks very much.
Nicole Gillis, forward 2.5 somersaults in pike, 2.6. Could be points here.
Yeah, not too many though. The judges are looking for a dynamic takeoff. Great elevation, fast spin, dropping into the water with no splash, and they didn't see very many of those components. Low to the water, short of vertical, lots of splash, and this is why we're only going to see mediocre marks, and there they are.
Yeah, 5s across the board for Nicole, so South African hopes resting squarely on the shoulders of Julia Vincent. Now, Shea Boddington with the dive that she took a risk on in the prelims, and it paid off then. It's a big one, 3.0 degree of difficulty, reverse 2.5 somersaults for the 31-year-old New Zealander. Come on, let's see the quality that we saw earlier today. Oh dear.
Well, it's high risk, and that's what happens sometimes when you put all the chips on the table. Sometimes you lose them all, and that's exactly what's happened there to Shay. She's gone big, and now she's having to go home.
You could see her breathing and really thinking it through, perhaps overthinking it on the board. She knew it was all or nothing, didn't she? Oh, and nothing it is.
Kimberly's still in the jacuzzi. Careful, she'll go wrinkly.
Jasmine Lai of Malaysia down in 10th place. Reverse 1.5 somersaults in pike, 2.4 degree of difficulty. Pulled it off.
Yeah. So conducting the orchestra as she came into the end, flailing her arms everywhere like she was bringing in a plane to land. And then somehow manages to deal with all of that. So she's way out of balance. That's why all the freaky arm movements going on. Thriller on the end of the board.
It could have been a lot worse, though. A 6 in there, a couple of 5s. She managed to somehow regain control of her limbs. Nurdabita Sabri with the big one as well. Reverse 2.5 somersaults in tuck. 3.0 degree of difficulty for the Malaysian, making her play for a charge at the podium.
Oh, and she's done the opposite to Shay. She's gone after it, spinning like a dingbat, and then just not taking the correct exit. She's missed her exit, and over she blows. She cruises this dive, so there's loads of room, and then opens her chest on the bottom. What an absolute shame. Oh, good effort, though, for getting out there and going high risk.
Yeah, it's a risky game to play, and it has not paid off.
We've got one more of those to come in this round, and that's for Julia Vincent, so she's going all in. All in on round 4.
But it could be the one that wins her a medal.
It could be the one that wins a medal, or the alternative. Oh, I do like diving. Come on, Grace.
Grace Reid of Scotland then, currently in the silver medal position, just 2.6 degree of difficulty here. So it needs to be good if she's going to keep the pace, keep the pressure on Julia Vincent of South Africa. Forward 1.5 somersaults, 2 twists.
Yes, another remarkable dive from Grace Reid. It was, of course, in Delhi in 2010 at the tender age of 14. She is definitely in the hunt for her first Commonwealth medal. This is the step up that we were hoping to see this evening. That's 4 out of 4 for Grace Reid. Lovely diving. It's a cool camera angle, isn't it, that one? And the marks on your screen now confirming she's currently in the lead. Yes.
There's an 8 in there, 7.5s that will count. Very useful indeed. And that'll really put the pressure on Julia Vincent with that massive 3.0 degree of difficulty to come later. Kat Torrance in 4th position. So a medal still not out of the question for Kat. 2.4 degree of difficulty, inward 1.5 somersaults.
No, that's the best effort from Kat we've seen this evening. Upright, splashless, vertical, a little bit snatchy, so maybe she won't get 8s. She could have waited a little bit for the board. She does a very tidy job on the finish there. Well done, Kat.
Yeah, really well done, Kat. Here come the scores. Brilliant. That's enough to move her up into silver medal position behind Grace Reid of Scotland, who's out in the lead. So Kat Torrance has leapfrogged the 2 Malaysians into the medal positions. Alicia Blagg could do with some of that magic, down in 6th. Oh dear.
Well, no magic. All out of magic, I'm afraid. What a shame. She's so much better than this, as we've seen in previous competitions, already a medalist here.
Yep.
And sadly, that is good night.
Yeah, so home nation's hopes then rest with Kat Torrance and Grace Reed, as Alicia is retreating to the jacuzzi. Right, this is the big one then for Julia Vincent, our current leader with 3.0 degree of difficulty, reverse 2.5 somersaults in tuck. And if she lands this, it's surely Commonwealth gold. Oh dear, no.
There you go. That's what happens when you go big. Sometimes it doesn't work. And that is a botched dive. God, I don't quite know. She's almost doing like a tuck jump into the end. It is uber funky, isn't it? Her hurdle step approach.
She did that in the prelims. It really threw me off.
I
thought she was going to come out of the dive.
Yeah. That's a coach Todd. He knows it. She knows it. And those are the marks. I really feel for. I thought that could have been South Africa's first medal in diving.
It could still be. You never know. She's in bronze medal position for now.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a big gap.
Oh my goodness, there is, yeah.
The medals and the rest of the field.
Georgia will go up there now, won't she?
Let's see.
Yeah. And mind you, low degree of difficulty, 2.3.
Back 1.5 somersaults in pike.
Yeah, neat and tidy, isn't it? Very neat and tidy indeed. Aidy Hitchcliffe there. Aussie coach, a Brit, now over in Aussie. Back 1.5. That's nicely done, just when it was going to make a difference, right? So, Georgia up into second.
Yeah, she is, with those 7.5s and a 7 in there. That pushes Kat Torrance down into the bronze medal position.
So this is Esther's chance to get back into it. She needs a dive of exquisite quality in order to get herself back in.
Reverse 1.5 somersaults, 2.4 degree of difficulty.
Well, it's not quite exquisite, but it is certainly a step up from some of her dives early on that were certainly pretty ordinary by her standards. This is back up there. Too much of an over-rotation for an 8. But it's tight, isn't it?
It is tight, yes. Very tight indeed.
So
Esther Chin,
fourth?
yeah,
Yes.
just in fourth though, only 4 points behind the bronze medal position. Let's look at those standings.
That's gettable, isn't it?
Very much gettable. Everyone's gettable. Grace Reed gettable out at the top, just 10 points in front. Georgia Sheehan, 210. She is, what's that, 8 points in front of Catherine Torrance.
This is a gold for Grace.
Yeah, she just needs to keep her cool now, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's got a strong dive to finish on and a 10-point buffer, 2.6. She's timed this very well indeed.
And she's got a game face on as well, hasn't she, Grace Reed?
Oh, yeah.
I can tell just by looking at her.
I don't know how else you'd tell, but yep.
You're right, it's empirical evidence. This guy, I don't know where he gets his energy from.
Where is he?
Maybe he's been to your vegan cafe.
Yeah.
Got some of those vegan energy balls that you've been enjoying.
They are very good.
There you go. That's his secret.
Amazing food here on the Gold Coast.
Right, Kimberly Bong then, as we enter this final round of the women's 1 metre springboard. 15-year-old slipping away from the pace after a blistering start.
Ah, Kimberly, come on, you're better than that. They had faith in you. You are only 15, the youngest competitor. It's really good takeoff. Just doesn't have a clue which way he's upright and tips over again. What a shame. but I love that smile. Look, yeah.
She's chuffed.
She should be. She'll
Commonwealth finals
she'll
at
be
her
way
first
off,
games.
way up from the bottom of the pack, right, which is where she qualified.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at those moves. Michaela Buter is down in 10th. Reverse 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, 2.6 degree of difficulty.
Oh, it's a good finish. A little bit too little, too late for Michaela. Mistakes in the earlier rounds proved costly, and she was in 10th after the 4th round. Maybe that will help. That's a 2.6. Probably finishing on her best dive, which is probably a sensible thing to do, especially when you're looking to make a play. On this occasion, Michaela too far away from the pace to make a play for any kind of medal placing.
But then perhaps the pressure's off for your biggest dive, so you could go out and perform it in competition with no pressure on your shoulders, I guess.
Yep.
Nicole Gillis, a 22-year-old from South Africa, finishes with an inward 1.5 somersaults, 2.4 degree of difficulty. And she's down in 11th.
Yeah, nice steady finish. Not quite straightening out as she enters the water. A little bit more elevation, height.
And sevens across the board.
Some twisty, whirly ones coming up now. A few in a row.
But slightly lower risk when it comes to the difficulty rating. 2.5 degree of difficulty for Shea Boddington to finish after that 3.0 that went badly wrong in the penultimate round.
Shame.
And she finds herself down in last place. So come on, Shea, the oldest woman in this final, 31 years old. And the only mum, too.
Yeah, tidy finish. Damage done in round 4 for Shea. Many people in from New Zealand to observe, cheer her on. And apart from round 4, she's done herself very proud.
And her daughter, her 3-year-old daughter, the reason she got back into diving after 13 years away to battle with bulimia, make herself healthy again.
Good for her.
She wanted to show her daughter what she used to do, and then thought, actually, I'm still quite good at this.
Yeah,
still quite enjoy it.
Absolutely.
It's a great story.
It certainly is.
Jasmine Lai, reverse 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, 2.6 degree of difficulty for Jasmine, who's in 9th.
Yeah, nice from Jasmine to finish. However, early mistakes proving costly for her also, so she is too far off the pace to make an impact this late in the game. This is her countrywoman who's up next. She is a little bit further up though, isn't she? Sabri. Let's have a look. So where was Sabri? She's 6th.
She's 6th, but quite a way off the pace. So, and a medal here, unlikely. Reverse 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists in free.
Oh, it's a lovely dive to finish. Just a little bit too much to do on her final dive. Which is a shame. She's a pocket rocket, isn't she, this one? Going for that big reverse 2.5 dive in the 4th round, sailing over a vertical as well because she's so strong, so powerful, so agile. Big smiles as well. Team Malaysia having an absolute ball. Currently in the lead, but still a few more athletes to come. Scotland's Grace Reid coming up next.
And there she is, Scotland's Grace Reid, the leader. This for a second medal for Scotland at this Commonwealth Games. They hadn't won one for 60 years. Could they come away with two?
This could be the big G as well.
Forward 2.5 somersaults in pike, 2.6 degree of difficulty for Grace.
Yeah, that's going to be it. That is good enough for gold. The Scots are on their feet, and I am too. Jenny Leeming, her coach, she knows it. She had a 10-point buffer, she being Grace Reid. Beautiful dive. 5 out of 5 for Grace, no mistakes, and that's what I said at the beginning. It's going to be consistency which wins the medals. And yes, this is the big G coming to big Grace Reid.
Well done, Grace. Kept that game face right way through, but there's the smile finally. Look at her, she's absolutely thrilled with that. A World Championship medalist. She's won the European title, Commonwealth title, right up there with those major medals. Kat Torrance, though, in bronze. And could this be another medal for Team England this evening? Forward 2.5 somersaults in pike, 2.6 degree of difficulty.
Oh! Now, did the judges see that as well, or was it just me? She bent her legs on the way out. I'm not sure why or what for. The takeoff is good. She's a little close to the diving board. Do you see? Oh, sugar me. Oh, that's, she just thrown away a medal. Oh, I can't believe it. Well, neither can she, obviously. Oh, no, you're kidding me. What?
Oh, she has, look. 4s and 4x4, she knows it. She was in bronze medal position.
Kat.
All she needed to do
is keep her legs straight.
Keep her legs straight, easy as that. No.
Alicia's had a nightmare as well.
Alicia in 8th. No medal for Team England.
No, it's a good finish. It's 2 mistakes early on. So Alicia go from leading in the first round to then struggling on the rest of the competition to get back into it. Just... Ladies and gentlemen, a round of appreciation. So 3 divers to go. That's basically given Esther Chin a medal now, without a shadow of a doubt. Georgia Sheehan, she's on for a medal. Julia Vincent, wow. Well, this is going to be exciting climax. 3 divers to go.
So here is Julia Vincent, currently in 5th, but just 2 points behind the medal positions to deliver a first medal at these games for South Africa. Back 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, 2.5 degree of difficulty for her final throw of the dice.
Well, the dice have come in pretty good for her as well. Need to get great elevation in order to make that dive. She works the board really well, gets into the twist, repikes firmly, gets in the water. She might sneak a few 7s. I don't know whether that'll be enough for a medal. That could be an agonising 4th for Julia Vincent.
As we move into the last couple of divers.
So I think it's going to be a double Aussie medal here. So Georgia dive well all day. She's up next. She's definitely going to do it. And Esther Chin has been gifted, absolutely gifted an opportunity.
Georgia Sheehan just 65 points behind Grace Reid in the gold medal position.
Yeah, it's good. It's not 65 points good, though. Still, that's going to be a silver for the 18-year-old from Australia, Georgia Sheehan. She's dived really consistently well, not quite as consistently well as Grace, so she'll be about 10 points shy of Grace. Finishing 2.4 degree of difficulty, playing it safe. Silver medalist, there she is.
her second medal of these games then for Georgia Sheehan. Gold in the 3-meter synchro, silver in the 1-meter springboard.
Nice haul, hey?
Not
18.
bad.
Not bad. What does it take to impress you?
Very cynical person. Reverse 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists then for Esther Chin to add to her medal haul here.
Yeah, and she has indeed. Wow, Esther had to do that the hard way, fighting right from the get-go. After a few sloppy dives, she finally gets it together and catapults herself into the medals. So it'll be gold for Scotland, silver for Australia, and then bronze for this woman, Esther Chin.
And listen to the roar from the Aussie crowd. And Grace in tears. She can't quite believe she's done it. Esther shaking her head. I don't think she can quite believe she's done it either.
She's had a tough day out there. Top qualifier, she'll be disappointed to win bronze.
But look at Grace. What a classy performance from Grace Reid. There's James Heatley, who won bronze in the men's 1-meter. Scotland's first medal at the Commonwealth Games in 60 years. Now, thanks to Grace Reid, they've won 2, and it's a gold for Grace.
Yeah.
I believe that's the first gold for Scotland since 1954. And Peter Heatley.
58, he won gold, didn't he?
Did he?
Yep.
I don't know what to do with myself. I need a drink.
We need the stats. I don't know what to do with myself. Well, you've got the 3-meter tomorrow, Grace. So how about you back it up with another medal in that? How about that suggestion? So proud of her. She's such an amazing athlete, has such a lovely way about her. She has presence on the diving board. Here are the results.
Grace Reid of Scotland then, look at that, head and shoulders above the rest. Georgia Sheehan and Esther Chin, who won the gold in combination in the 3-meter. Settled for silver and bronze here. Kat Torrance, though, just those bent legs in that final dive meant she fell out of the medals and into 5th. And Alicia Blagg, not the final she'd have wanted here on the Gold Coast. She finishes in 7th. But Grace Reid of Scotland is the Commonwealth champion.